Hello and welcome to the latest Lukozer retro game review video, and for this one it is Armageddon from Ocean, which means we are going way back. This game came out in 1983 and is not only one of, if not the first games from Ocean. It was one of the earliest games for the Commodore 64. So let's get a game underway, and you will see straight away that this game is essentially, well, there's no essentially about it, this game is Missile Command, which is all well and good if you are a fan of Missile Command, I guess, but then I think, well, certainly these days, if you are a Missile Command fan, you'd probably be playing it on either MAME or on perhaps an Atari 2600 emulator. I certainly don't think you would be playing a Commodore 64 game that was, well, let's cut to the chase, it was a blatant rip-off. Clearly it's not officially licensed game of Missile Command, otherwise it would use the title. So anyway, the idea of the game, in case you hadn't already been able to tell, these white lines that are raining down are meant to be the trail of missiles that have been launched at the 6 cities, and you're here firing these like anti-aircraft missiles. I think in this particular game they've gone a bit more bullshitty about what those lines are. There's like some strain of some alien virus that's raining down on the cities, and you use these missiles to stop them from hitting them. And that is essentially it. You'll sometimes get other aircraft or UFOs flying past, you can shoot at them, and they will also drop these containers which contain additional either missiles or virus threads, whatever you want to fucking call them. So I've lost one city. Essentially you don't actually get, like, you know, lives, but once all 6 cities have been destroyed, then that is game over. I'm trying to rush through it a bit here. I mean, clearly in terms of graphics it's as basic a Commodore 64 game as I have ever seen. Likewise, sound effects. This like intro sound effect for each level gets extremely annoying extremely quickly, to the stage where I've only played this game twice, well, since I got the emulated version. I did have this game back in the day. I remember the sound effects getting annoying, and yeah, since I downloaded the emulator I've been reminded of that. Well, not downloaded the emulator, you know what I fucking mean. So obviously you get a limited number of shots per level. The amount of shots you get is actually plenty. There's never any danger of running out unless you are completely reckless. So what do I think of it? I mean, as games, you know, go, they don't get much more basic than this. I guess Missile Command was okay in its day when, you know, Space Invaders was considered revolutionary amongst games. But I mean, let's face it, that was a hell of a long time ago, and yeah, there's nothing particularly remarkable about it. It stood the test of time about as well as high karate has, i.e. not at all. It I didn't get this game when it first came out. I got it a couple of years later. I got it about 85, and it was horribly dated even then. So I mean, now it's, you know, you'd be forgiven for laughing at it. That's one of those capsules that aircraft dropped. So that's, I think I managed to save the city. I'm not going to save it this time. Okay, I did, just from the fact that it missed. So there is this way which I'm playing it at the moment, where you can pretty much guarantee that you'll do alright, because you just protect one city and say bollocks for the rest, because okay, you get a bigger bonus at the end of each level if you have more cities surviving, but this is just about, you know, if you just want to keep progressing and want the game to last longer, if you are that sadistic, then yeah, just protect the one and say bollocks to the rest of them. So anyway, I mean, the game itself is, yeah, it hasn't stood the test of time at all. Graphically and sonically, it's as basic a game as I've ever seen. Well, outside of the old the old grandstand television games of you know, 1977. I mean, it's still better than the A-Team, and I mean, it's not a terrible game by any stretch of the imagination. It's just that Missile Command had its time, which was very brief, and it's not survived. it's you know, it just doesn't grab the interest anymore, and it's not difficult to see why. It doesn't help that, you know, the sound effects, whilst they are sparse during the game, at the start of each level you've got to sit there and wait for that fucking irritating like whistling sound or whatever it is to finish before you can actually start the level. So I am now down to one city, so bollocks to anything that's going to miss it. You also heard there a bit of a audio glitch. Sometimes it does the sound of an approaching or looks like a jet aircraft, but it looks more like a fucking 767 or something rather than a bomber. But yeah, it sometimes briefly plays that sound and yet nothing happens. Why? Who knows? Now, when your last city is destroyed, you do get the chance to carry on to the end of the level. So if you are all about points, then once the last city is destroyed, you may as well stop playing, because you'll have a higher bonus from having more of your missiles left in the base. Okay, I thought that was another level done. There we go. Now it says about how easy this game is, as well as how simple it is, from the fact that okay, I had one warm-up go before I then did this video, and I've reached the same stage that I used to get when I played this back in the day. So as challenges go, there isn't really much of one. So let's see. Okay, right, so I'm now dead, so I might as well stop firing and just get more bonus from having all of the missiles left. But yeah, how do I rate it? Well, I'll say it hasn't aged at all. It looks awful, it sounds awful, and the gameplay is every bit as extremely basic and simple as it looks. So yeah, this is sort of an example of how retro games aren't necessarily going to be great. it's too basic for its own good, really. So I would give this game 3, but it's not a game that I would maul to death, like, you know, it's not another Karnov or anything like that. It's just that because it is so basic, so simple, it just hasn't stood the test of time, and that's the only reason I rate it so low. So 3 out of 10 for Armageddon. Not a classic, not particularly memorable, and not one that I would say go and try now. So that brings this one to an end, and we will see you at the next one.